Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Help for the Guildless. My name, of course, is Antoine. And if you haven't had a chance to check out the newest channel update video, I suggest you do that. It's very important things in there and some incentive for you. You only have about a week left. Now, I do have some other things that need to be posted, but this one was more important because it talks about the channel update. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Some interesting things have been going on the last couple of weeks. One of them being hashtag he will not divide us. What is it exactly? Well, it happens to be an art project thought up from the deranged minds of Shia LaBeouf and Jaden Smith, one defunct actor who has shunned Hollywood and himself from everything that he once was because of 5 flops, and the other is Jaden Smith, who peaked during The Pursuit of Happiness and now just wants to cut off his penis. So, what is hashtag he will not divide us? It's a 4-year art project thought up, again, like I said, by Shia LaBeouf and Jaden Smith. It is a webcam that is constantly streaming 24/7 with a microphone, and above this, on the wall outside of the Museum of Living Art, there is a mantra: he will not divide us. Of course, we are talking about Trump, or should I say, God Emperor Trump, El Jefe Trump, El Presidente Trump, all hail the blonde Oompa Loompa, talking about how Trump is going to divide the US. He's not, but that's not the point. Certain times during the day, Shia LaBeouf will show up and stand in front of the webcam and continually say, he will not divide us. Respond to questions with, he will not divide us. Respond to comments with, he will not divide us. Look at a man's penis and have him say, nice dick, bro, he will not divide us. I wish I was joking with that one, I'm not. God. What this did was give an opportunity to people who are much more creative and brave than most to go out, seek this project out, and become real-life shitposters, visual trolls. With what the one I give the best credit to happens to be the one who a guy standing next to Shia LaBeouf took a phone call and then proceeded to review Shia's worst movies in his presence, almost making Shia LaBeouf break character, because that's exactly what he's doing. He's playing a character, trying to be serious and political. This all culminated in... It's only been around for a week and a half, I believe. And in this week and a half, the trolls have progressively gotten more and more brave, pushing Shia LaBeouf to the brink of insanity. Well, he finally snapped, and was arrested and charged with assault. He assaulted one of his supporters, someone who was there to show solidarity to him in what he was doing. And then because of that, in the truest show of palpable irony, Shia put up a wall between his art project and the people, to where he could control who he wanted to come in and express their views. He will not divide us. Mr. LaBeouf, I declare, tear down that wall. because you've done the exact same thing for the exact same reasons that Trump wants to build his wall, to keep out the undesirables. The irony is thick here, people. And that moves us into more irony, and this is just a quick aside. I don't like talking about her, but I'm sorry, I can't call her a her anymore. She's an it, because she's come out as gender fluid, or non-binary, one of the two. Zoe Quinn posted a tweet that said, and I quote, "I wish there were giant flashing neon signs every 20 feet that said it's not all about you, until people got it." As Cole said on Twitter, the irony is so thick, Zoe Quinn mistakenly thought it was a money shot. You can't make this shit up, people. And of course, the biggest news story so far is the hashtag Muslim ban, which also brought up hashtag delete Uber, which also brought up hashtag boycott Starbucks. Hashtag movements are nothing except virtue signaling. Now, let's not talk about it as a Muslim ban. That is just the mainstream media's way of creating outrage for a non-controversy. It's not a ban. It's a delay. It's not a ban. It's an embargo of 90 to 120 days from certain countries. Not specifically Muslim countries. That's why people are getting upset. It's a Muslim ban. No, he's not banning a religion. He is banning refugees and people, immigrants from certain countries. The countries that have funded terrorism against the US. So as much as you want to complain, as much as you want to virtue signal, as much as you want to call this a ban against religion and how it's going to create radicalism, think of it. They're already trying to create radicalism. He's not banning a religion, he's banning countries. Stop being divisive. And that's the mainstream media right there. Now, where did I get this information? Of all people, Josh Fierstein. I cannot stand the man. I think he is a pompous ass who more often than not is wrong in everything he says. But in this instance, it's true. He's not banning countries, or he's not banning religion. He's banning countries, and he's trying to keep his people safe. And one of the arguments is that Obama did the same thing. Well, Obama's situation was a slight difference. He banned a country because of a hostage situation. It was a response. What these virtue signalers and protesters should really be asking themselves is, where were they when Obama was bombing these countries? You see, instead of bombing the countries, Donald Trump is just saying, no, you have to wait a few days. Okay, a few months. You have to wait a few months before we let you in. Because we need to make sure that you are not going to hurt us in any way. And that's the real problem with virtue signalers. They pick and choose. And it's not fair. Because this is not about him banning Muslims. This is not about him banning countries. This is about the person who did the banning. SJWs, leftists, women, and anyone who didn't like Trump lost their goddamn minds when he was elected. And then, when they couldn't stop the Electoral College from voting him in, then they went to Congress with all of the star power of Hollywood, which then brought us the Women's March, which couldn't decide what they were actually marching about, which brought us Madonna saying she dreamt of bombing the White House. When did she dream this up? Was it the day of the inauguration where he actually took presidency? Or had she been thinking about it sooner? And then to fall back on it going, oh no, it was just a joke. I'm sorry, Madge, you are a joke. You built your entire career on acting like a slut, and then you want to virtue signal. And I am not slut-shaming in the least. I loved Madonna's older music. Like a Virgin was great. Like a Surgeon from Weird Al was a bit better, but that's besides the point. Wanting Trump to fail, wanting the leader of our country to fail, is like wanting the pilot of the plane that you're on to crash it into a mountain. It makes no sense. I don't support Trump. I don't like Trump. I didn't want him as president. I didn't want Hillary either. But he was elected in. Not by racists, not by bigots, but by normal, hard-working people who wanted something different. Regardless of what mainstream media, the Young Turks, the leftists, anyone says. This is the CEO of our country. If you want to look at it as a business, he's the CEO. We are all the menial workers. If he falls, we lose our jobs. In this case, if he falls, we lose our country. And then, of course, the last bit of news to come out of the inauguration is apparently it's okay to just up and punch someone in the face for not agreeing with what they have to say. All you have to do is accuse them of being something that the majority of people don't like, and suddenly it's okay to just up and punch him. Richard Spencer was sucker punched during an interview. I don't like Richard Spencer. I don't agree with him. He's a white nationalist, a self-proclaimed white nationalist, and I happen to disagree with a lot of what he has to say. But I agree that he has the right to say it. It's a free speech issue. And when we have people like Steve Shives and Christy Winters and Michael Rowlands all saying that it's okay to punch a Nazi, well, my friends, show me a Nazi. Show me a Nazi from the Nazi Party, the Third Reich. Show me one in today's day and age. Because as far as I know, the Third Reich was disbanded in the 1940s, shortly after World War II. Now, yes, I know they're talking about neo-Nazis. Neo, of course, meaning new, the new Nazis. White supremacists, things like that. Well, Richard Spencer was asked, are you a Nazi? He said no. Are you a neo-Nazi? He said no. Are you a white supremacist? He said no. And as he was starting to say the alt-right and neo-Nazis and white supremacists don't like him, he was punched. He's not shouting fire in a crowded theater. He is not inciting violence. He is not inciting hate. Regardless of what you believe, he is expressing an opinion. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not covered under free speech. Now, Richard Spencer, for his own right, said he wasn't going to press charges against the person. His response was, it's because I can take a punch. But when you have someone with a following like Steve Shives advocating for punching a Nazi, if we let them and their type and their ilk decide who is morally right by their own logic, all I have to do is point to someone and say they are bigots, they are a racist, regardless of what race they are or who they're racist against. They're a racist. I can then punch them. Of course, that's not the case, but they're advocating for it. They're saying it's a good thing. I don't like hypocrisy. I live my life by living by my word. And if I say something hypocritical, please, by all means, call me out on it. But in this instance, the man has a right to say exactly what he wants to say without fear of being attacked. When you start using fear as a tactic to silence people, you have now become what you hate. Are you happy now? You fucking SJWs, you made me defend Richard Spencer. I've had to defend Donald Trump. Are you fucking kidding me? That's all I really have to say. There have been a lot of laughs from this last couple of weeks, a lot of chuckles, a lot of kecks to be had. But it's just sad. Absolutely sad. Donald Trump is not dividing us. It's people like Steve Shives and Christy Winters, Michael Rowlands, Riley Dennis. Anyway, that's all I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking with me for this long. I appreciate every single one of you. If you liked what I had to say, please hit like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what I had to say, let me know in the comments. You can follow Cole on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and Tumblr. I am also on the Facebook page if you ever want to get hold of me. This has been Help for the Guildless. My name, of course, is Antoine, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, have a wonderful evening.